Right. So this news has got the Afrobeats world kind of shaken up, right?
Yeah.
Tiwasavage, like the queen herself, hints that she might retire after her next album.
Yeah, it's big news.
It's huge. We've got this article from Ripples, Nigeria, a major news outlet over there.
Okay.
And it's really got me thinking, is she serious?
Well, it is a pretty provocative statement, especially when you think about, like, how casual the announcement was.
Yes. It wasn't like some big press release or anything. It was just on Instagram. She's like, this might be my last studio album. I am tired. I don't try.
Oh, I saw that, yeah.
And like that, I don't try. You know, it's Nigerian pidgin for I tried.
Right.
But there's just something about it. There's this extra like weight of weariness. You know what I mean?
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know, it's interesting because, like, the pidgin itself kind of reflects that whole cultural blend of Nigeria. Right?
Yeah.
English mixed with these local languages. In a way, it's kind of similar to how Tiwasavage blends all these genres in her music to make her unique sound. So, you know, when we talk about this weariness she's expressing, we got to look at the whole cultural context, too.
Yeah, for sure.
She was on the Spotify Receipts podcast.
Oh, yeah, I heard that one.
And talked about how at the start of her career, she was seen as, like, Nigeria's sweetheart.
Yeah. It was like early on, she could do no wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because she followed that like more traditional path, you know, university, marriage, motherhood.
Right.
Then bam.
Yeah.
Divorce from T-bills back in 2018.
Oh, yeah.
And it seemed like that really shifted how the public saw her.
It's like, and this is where we start to see all those expectations that get piled on women in the industry.
Oh, totally.
Especially in a culture like Nigeria, where those traditional gender roles are still a big deal.
Yeah.
And so, like, that pressure to keep up a certain image, the whole good wife persona, it's intense.
So when she kind of went off that expected path, the backlash was rough.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And you can see how that plays into that whole tired feeling she's talking about.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not just the music industry that's so demanding. It's like having to deal with public opinion. And in a culture that can be quick to judge, especially women.
Okay, so we've got this cultural context, but she's also saying she's tired.
Yeah.
So is it burnout from that industry itself, or more about the scrutiny that comes with being so famous, especially after the divorce?
I think it's honestly probably a bit of both.
Yeah.
The music industry is super demanding. You've got the touring, recording schedules, the constant pressure to come up with hits.
Yeah.
Then you add the public watching your every move, like especially with social media nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
Everything you do gets picked apart.
Right.
It's a lot to deal with.
And then being a mom on top of it all.
Right.
Trying to balance that with a career like hers can't be easy. I mean, I'm getting tired just thinking about it.
Oh, absolutely. The demands on her time and energy are huge.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when she says, I'm tired, we got to take that seriously.
For sure.
But there's another side to this, too. I mean, she's 44. She's already achieved amazing success in her career.
Huge success.
Yeah. Some would say she's already a legend.
That's what's so fascinating. Like, why walk away now when she's at the top of her game? Is it possible that tired feeling isn't burnout, but like a feeling of accomplishment?
Yeah, maybe.
Like she's reached the top of the mountain and now wants a new view.
It's definitely possible. Like, you see that going out on top idea a lot in sports.
Oh, yeah.
Athletes retiring at their peak to keep that legacy.
Like Michael Jordan with the Bulls.
Exactly.
After the 6th championship, he went out a champion.
We're out on top.
And it just solidified him as a legend.
Yeah, totally.
So could Tiwasavage be doing something similar?
Well, it's an interesting parallel, but music isn't like sports where there's that clear retirement point.
That's true.
Musicians can keep going.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, we've got tons of artists who perform well into their later years.
True, but it's not always a pretty sight, right?
Yeah.
It feels like they're clinging to past glory.
Yeah.
Putting out music that isn't that great just to stay relevant?
Yeah.
Maybe Tiwasavage wants to avoid that.
That's a really sharp observation.
Yeah.
There's a certain dignity to stepping away while you're still at the top.
Yeah.
On your own terms.
Yeah.
You get to control the narrative, avoid that potential for things to go downhill.
Totally. And maybe it's not about avoiding a decline, but like ending on a high note.
Yeah.
With a feeling of, I did what I set out to do.
Right.
Now it's time for something new.
That's a really compelling point.
Yeah.
Like, it suggests a sense of self-awareness, putting fulfillment over fame and fortune.
Oh, for sure.
Which, when you think about it, is kind of a radical idea in the music industry. There's so much pressure to keep producing, stay relevant.
Absolutely. So what is it? Is she stepping away to do other things? Spend more time with her son, her businesses? Or is this the end of Tiwasavage, musician?
It's hard to say for sure, but I don't think Tiwasavage is the type to just fade away.
Yeah.
Whatever she does next, it's going to be big, impactful, and on her terms.
I have a feeling you're right about that.
It's funny you should mention, like, Tiwasavage's next chapter.
Yeah.
Because her whole career has been anything but predictable.
Right, like she didn't just suddenly become an Afrobeats icon. She's put in so much work over the years. And get this, I was doing some digging.
Yeah.
She started out as a backup singer.
Wow.
For huge names like George Michael, Mary J. Blige.
Oh, wow.
Talk about a masterclass in singing.
Yeah.
To think that experience shaped her early years working with these legends.
It's amazing to think about.
Totally. It shows that drive, that ambition that carried over into her solo career.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, let's not forget, she got her start in Nigeria on X Factor.
Oh, that's right.
She was runner-up, but think about that exposure.
Huge.
Catapulted her right into the spotlight, and she hasn't slowed down since.
No, she hasn't.
And then it was just hit after hit.
Oh, yeah.
Kelly Love, Eminado, all over.
All classic.
She became like the soundtrack of a generation.
Absolutely.
And what's so cool is how she got that global sound,
Yeah.
but stayed true to her Nigerian roots.
Totally.
That blend, Afrobeats, pop, R&B, it's just infectious, and it connected with people everywhere.
Worldwide.
Even signed with Universal Music Group.
Wow.
Huge deal for any artist,
Whoops.
let alone one coming from Nigeria. And then collabs with Beyonce, Drake.
Oh, yeah.
Her reach just exploded.
It shows her talent, her vision,
Yeah.
her business smarts. She built this brand that goes beyond borders, connects with people globally.
Absolutely.
And so to think she might walk away from all that.
It's a big statement.
Yeah, it is.
But if we look back at that article from Ripples Nigeria,
Yeah.
that quote, "I am tired, I don't try," it doesn't exactly say, "I'm done with music forever."
Right.
There's that weariness, sure, but also, like, she's accomplished so much.
I get that?
Maybe she's just tired of the grind, you know? The crazy pace of the industry.
Wouldn't be surprising. And if that's the case, maybe she'll just shift focus to other parts of the music business.
Yeah, like what?
Well, she's already shown she's interested in mentoring new artists,
Oh, yeah.
using her influence to help them out.
Right.
She could easily become a producer, a label exec, even a talent manager.
I could see that.
She's got the experience, the knowledge, the connections.
Sure.
She could make a real impact behind the scenes.
And that could be really fulfilling.
Yeah.
Instead of being in the spotlight, she could be the one nurturing the next generation of Afrobeat stars.
Yeah, shaping the future of the genre.
That's an amazing thought. Passing the torch, so to speak. But what if, and hear me out,
Okay.
what if this whole retirement thing is like strategic? A way to build hype for the next album.
Oh, you mean like a publicity stunt?
Yeah, we've seen artists do it before.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
To create that urgency, remind people of their impact.
Totally. Happens all the time.
And let's be honest, it's working. Everyone's talking about Tiwasavage right now.
They are.
Whether she actually retires or not.
Right.
She's the topic of conversation. Exactly. And even if there is that strategic element,
Yeah,
it doesn't take away from those real pressures she's dealing with.
that's true.
The music industry, especially for women,
Oh, yeah.
it can be so demanding.
Both physically and emotionally.
Totally.
Yeah.
You know, this whole thing, it reminds me of when Lauryn Hill stepped back
Oh, yeah.
after the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Such a great album.
Huge success, but she felt overwhelmed by the fame.
Yeah.
Decided to focus on her family, performed less often.
Makes sense.
It's a good comparison, right?
Yeah.
Both Tiwasavage and Lauryn Hill
Yeah.
achieved massive success young,
Uh-huh.
and then chose to step away from that demanding industry.
It reminds us that fame isn't always what it seems.
Right.
There's a cost, a sacrifice
Yeah.
that often gets overlooked.
And it takes courage to walk away.
Oh, yeah.
Even for a little bit, especially when you're on top.
For sure.
It's like the opposite of what we expect from our idols.
Right, like they have to always be on, always producing,
Yeah,
always feeding the machine.
totally.
And so, in a way, whether this is truly retirement or just a break,
Yeah.
Tiwasavage is challenging the status quo. She's saying her well-being, her creative freedom, her personal life,
Yeah.
they matter just as much as her career.
And that's powerful.
It is.
Not just for artists, but for anyone who feels that pressure to always be performing.
To always be striving, to never slow down,
It's a reminder that it's okay to take a break.
to reassess.
To prioritize yourself.
Absolutely. And ultimately, that's what makes this whole situation so interesting. It's not just about retiring or not.
Yeah.
It's about a woman at the top of her game
Uh-huh.
deciding to define success on her own terms.
And that's pretty revolutionary.
It is.
You know, through all this talk about Tiwasavage and what she might do,
Yeah.
I can't help but think about the fans.
Oh, absolutely.
This has got to be hitting them hard.
Yeah, like we were saying earlier, music can be so personal.
Totally.
And when an artist you really connect with kind of steps back, it can feel like a loss, you know?
And with Tiwasavage, her fan bases, they're super passionate, so devoted.
Yeah, they are.
They've been there through everything.
Highs and lows.
Celebrating the wins, offering support when things were tough.
Yeah, for sure.
It's no surprise social media has been blowing up ever since she hinted at retiring.
Oh, totally.
It's been wild seeing all those reactions.
Oh, yeah, it's a whole mix of emotions.
It really is.
Definitely a lot of sadness.
Oh, yeah.
Fans begging her to stay,
Yeah.
saying how much her music means to them.
Makes
It
sense.
just shows how strong that bond is with her audience.
Yeah.
How her music's become like a part of their lives.
I've seen some people in straight up denial,
Really?
refusing to believe she's serious about retiring.
Wow.
It's like they're bargaining, hoping if they wish hard enough, she'll change her mind.
That's understandable, though.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
tough to let go of someone whose art has really touched you.
Right.
And for some, Tiwasavage is more than just music. Yeah.
Oh, totally.
She's a symbol of empowerment.
Uh-huh.
Black X. Yeah. Breaking down barriers for women in a male-dominated industry.
And that representation, it matters.
Oh, it's huge.
Especially for young women who see themselves in her success, her confidence, how she owns her Nigerian heritage.
For sure.
So yeah, I get why some fans are having a hard time with this news.
Yeah.
But, you know, even with the sadness and the denial, there's also a lot of support
Yeah, that's good to see.
and understanding. Fans encouraging her to take care of herself,
Take all the time she needs.
telling her they'll be there when she's ready.
That's great.
It says a lot about the respect between Tiwasavage and her fans.
It does.
They get it. They know she's a person.
With her own needs, her own life outside of entertainment.
Exactly. It's not just about consuming her music.
Right.
They're invested in her journey, her
Yeah.
well-being, her happiness.
Yeah. And I think no matter what she does next, that connection, that respect, it'll just keep growing.
Yeah, you're probably right. So, wrapping up this deep dive, I'm feeling, I don't know, a lot of things.
Yeah. Like what?
Intrigue, respect, a little sadness, but mostly hope.
That's interesting.
Because whether she retires or not, Tiwasavage has started this conversation.
About.
The pressure on artists, mental health, defining success your own way,
Yeah.
that's important.
It is.
Not just in music, but everywhere.
Absolutely. And she's shown us that it's okay to step back.
Mm-hmm.
Take a look around, figure out what really matters.
Even when everyone wants more.
That's a powerful message.
It is.
And a powerful legacy, no matter what the future holds.
So well said.
Yeah.
So, Tiwa, wherever you go next, we applaud you.
We do.
Thanks for the music, the inspiration, the courage to choose your own path.
And to our listeners, we'll leave you with this.
Okay.
Imagine your Tiwasavage achieved amazing things, but feeling the weight of the world? What would you do next? Think about it. Maybe even challenge yourself to rethink what success means to you.
That's a great thought to leave on.
Until next time, keep diving deep